Hello everybody, thank you so much for watching Where with Sim again. Hope you guys are all having a great day so far. And in today's video we're going to be talking about this enhanced risk of severe weather and even a few more other things. But we're definitely going to have to be watching this area closely today. So make sure to be on very high alert in this area if you do live down here in Houston, Texas. So if you haven't already seen this threat of severe weather, it's here now for you. Make sure to be on high alert if you do live around Houston, because that's going to be our key today. And as you see, the slight risk is around the enhanced risk, so we'll definitely have to be on high alert in that area too. But this marginal does extend way up north into southern Oklahoma, and then even includes central Louisiana, even Alexandria, and then heading back towards Austin. So that's definitely gonna have to be something to keep your eye on if you live in the slight enhanced or even the marginal risk. So make sure to be on high alert. And the only thing that got us to have an enhanced risk is the tornado threat. The tornado threat is the only thing that made us have an enhanced risk of severe weather, and as you see, that is a 10%. And I know that a 10% doesn't sound like an enhanced risk because an enhanced risk is a 30%, but the bigger the tornado threat, the higher the risk of severe weather. So that's kind of why the 10% made us get a 30%. So I'm not really sure the right way to explain it, why the 10% made us have a 30%, but it's usually the main thing that happens whenever there's a 10% or higher. So since we do have a 10% or an enhanced risk, you're definitely going to still want to be on high alert, and you're still going to want to be on high alert in this green and even this brown area. But I also was right about this tornado threat extending into Houston, and the reason why is because Houston seemed to has had lots of the ingredients for severe weather too also. So we'll definitely have to really watch closely in this area. But the wind and hail threat don't really look as concerning, but they are there, so be on high alert. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the excessive rainfall outlook, where we do have a slight risk for flash flooding. This has been upgraded, so make sure to be on high alert if you live down here in Houston heading into Lake Charles. So that's gonna be an area to watch closely for some flash flooding today. But it also looks like tomorrow we see a marginal risk. Then on day 3 we see a marginal risk for the southeast, and even up here in the let's say Western Oregon has a marginal risk tomorrow, and then on day 4 and 5 we also have a marginal risk up here. So we'll definitely have to watch these areas closely, but mainly watch today, because today is going to be the highest threat for flash flooding, and it is. So make sure to be on high alert. We're going to go ahead and look at our radar though. We're going to start back off near today, and we're going to go ahead and take this forward. And as you see, around 12 a.m. on December 1st, which is going to be for tomorrow at midnight, we're definitely talking a round of rain, and this is going to be for tonight. So we'll definitely have to watch closely, but as that moves through our area, that will head into New England, but continue and start to die down though as it heads northeast. But then we start to see more of these like scattered and kind of weird storms down here. So we'll definitely have to watch for some severe weather down here. It sounds like where it gets more isolated or scattered, that's gonna be the area to watch closely. And you might not think it looks as strong as they are isolated or scattered, but usually supercells are more isolated though. Usually it's a little storm that produces anything including tornadoes, so definitely watch closely. And then as we continue to take this forward, we'll start to see more rounds of showers and storms down here to the south, but it looks like we'll see a few more isolated showers, snowstorms across New England and even the mid-Atlantic. But as we continue to take this forward, we still keep seeing more rain coming, so definitely have to keep watching to add on to those rainfall totals. But that rainfall that I just showed you guys right there on December 8th on 6 p.m. around 6 p.m. That's where it doesn't look to be as strong or as active, but it does look like we could like at least get up to a quarter of an inch with that rain. And then as we continue to take this forward, more isolated storms at first across the lower Ohio Valley. Then as we continue to take this forward, the GFS model is showing that we will get a big snowstorm across this area if we really do get this, because not only are we not at the end of the radar or at the end where this radar does end, but we are starting to see a big snowstorm come through, and it is looking like we will definitely be seeing some in the way of snow as we get into December 11th. As you see, it's actually not at its last hour, so we could actually see this occur. And if we do the math right, December 11th is probably in about 2.5 weeks. And as you see, we continue to see snowfall with that like mixed precipitation and stuff, even getting into light snow too as well. And as that probably heads out, it just continues to stay strong as it moves through New England, and then we don't really know anything else but that. But it is looking very active, because if you look at the snowfall totals, we are definitely seeing a big snowfall amount across New England and even the Boston area of Massachusetts. So we'll definitely have to be on extremely high alert up here in New England, especially if you live up here. So definitely be on high alert if you live up here. And then over here down to the southwest towards Ohio Valley, it looks like we could get some pretty good snowfall across eastern Ohio, and then all the way down into southern Indiana and even Kentucky, where we are seeing those active snowfall totals. This is gonna look like a pretty big snowstorm as it moves through our area, and the one I'm talking about is this one right here. I don't know which people are really gonna be going live for it, but there definitely might be people going live for it, and it even sounds like more lake effect snow could be possible with that storm. And I do want to say that we still usually have changes, so not really always staying like how it shows on the radar, even though we're not heading terribly far out. So we still see lots of changes, even though we really don't see a whole lot of that happen on radar that is shown right now. So radars do change quite a bit, so definitely not really needed to keep that in mind all the time. But if we're heading like a week out and that snowstorm's occurring, then keep that in mind, because a week is pretty close. That at least gives you a good idea that that snowstorm will occur. But that snowstorm is not a week out. That snowstorm is about 2 weeks out. But if we're going to look at the precipitation outlook, we actually do have a threat for flash flooding up here to the northwest. Not today, but during the next few days, we will have a threat up here for flash flooding. As you see, those areas are really getting pummeled with flooding or water, so just really, really bad for them. But up here up here in New England, down through the east coast and into the south and southeast, seeing those really high rainfall totals. We'll have to watch for rounds and rounds of numerous storms down here towards the Houston area, because I think we'll see even more than what it's showing at the end of the radar. And it sounds like this has updated again, and as you see, nothing really changing as we move this area a little bit farther, but we'll keep watching it. But before we end this video, we are going to show you that around 12 p.m. that's where we'll have the strongest cape, and as we continue to take this forward, still sticks around, and then it heads back into the Atlantic Ocean, but then produces more cape up here towards the south. And as you see, that cape actually does have the head as far north as Ohio, maybe causing a brief rumble of thunder to happen, depending on if we see any scattered rain or showers at that time. So we'll have to watch that closely. But if you do live in that area, make sure to be on high alert, especially down here towards the Houston area. So make sure to do that if you live down here towards Houston. And then if you live in these areas, also be on high alert, because we do have two other marginal risks to watch for. And I'll actually show you guys the other one, which is on day 2. I was going to show you that we do see all hazards for a marginal risk besides hail threat. So definitely something to be aware of as we get into tomorrow, but we're mainly just going to be focusing on today as of right now. So we'll have to watch for a few tornado warnings tomorrow, more radar indicated tornado warnings than observed tornado, but since we do have that tornado threat, be on high alert if you do live in this area, and it includes New Orleans, Mobile, getting into Montgomery. So all those areas are included in that marginal risk. And same goes for tomorrow, but does shift off from east. So thank you guys very much for watching. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you do live down here towards Houston, make sure to be on extremely high alert if you live in this enhanced risk or even the slight risk down here. But if you haven't gotten prepared yet, do it right now, because you don't really want to be anywhere during a tornado warning. So just be prepared to take shelter immediately instead of just wasting time trying to find shelter, which doesn't always work with the tornado warning, because you're always gonna be in the tornado warnings when you're wasting time getting prepared. So make sure you get prepared right now if you live down here in the flash flood threat and even the enhanced risk area. I should go live today, but I don't know what time yet, but I'll try to figure it out this morning. But thank you guys very much for watching, and I will do one tomorrow.